You felt it, haven't you? That sting of their laughter. The weight of their dismissal crashing down on you like a tidal wave. They called you crazy, delusional, paranoid. Labels thrown at you like daggers to silence the fire burning in your soul. You spoke truths they weren't ready to hear, saw patterns they refused to acknowledge, and carried a vision that made them squirm. But now the tide is turning. The energy they mocked, the insight they waved off as nonsense. It's hitting them square in the face, and you're standing tall as the first sparks of your awakening ignite. This is your moment, chosen one. You're not here to shrink. You're here to rise. Let's get real. The world didn't make it easy for you. They laughed because they couldn't see what you saw. Your words cut too deep, your warnings rang too true, and that scared them. Science backs this up. Humans resist what challenges their comfort zones. Cognitive dissonance kicks in, and they'd rather call you unhinged than face the mirror you held up. But you're wired differently. Your brain doesn't just process. It perceives. Your intuition isn't random. It's a signal, a frequency tuned to a higher vibration they can't yet grasp. And when that energy they ridiculed starts slamming into their reality, you feel it first. It's not revenge. It's revelation. You're awake now, and there's no going back. So how do you know this is your calling? Start watching yourself. Notice how your gut twists when something's off, how your mind connects dots others miss. You've got a radar for truth, chosen one, and it's been there all along. Sit with it. Next time you're alone, ask yourself, when did I feel that spark? When did their laughter fade into static? And I knew I was right. Maybe it was a conversation they brushed off, a prediction they scoffed at, only to see it unfold later. Write it down. Track it. That's not coincidence. That's your soul screaming its purpose. You're not imagining this. You're awakening to it. The loneliness stung, didn't it? Standing there, voice shaking, while they rolled their eyes or walked away. You carried that weight, the isolation of seeing what they couldn't, feeling what they wouldn't. But here's the shift. You're not alone anymore. That pain was forging you. Every snicker, every "you're overreacting," was a hammer strike shaping your resolve. Now, as their world trembles under the energy they dismissed, you're stepping out of the shadows. Acceptance isn't about their approval. It's about owning your truth. You don't need their nods. You need your own. Look in the mirror and say it. I was right. I am enough. Feel that fire settle in your chest. That's your power waking up. Here's how you claim it step by step. First, stop doubting yourself. They trained you to question your instincts. Unlearn that now. When you feel that surge, that knowing, trust it. Test it. Speak it out loud, even if it's just to yourself. Second, watch their reactions. The ones who laughed hardest? They're the ones reeling now, haunted by your words echoing in their heads. Third, ground yourself. This energy is potent. It can overwhelm you if you don't channel it. Breathe deep, plant your feet, and let it flow through you like a current. You're not here to crumble. You're here to command it. Finally, own your role. You're not just a bystander in this chaos, you're a beacon. The world's shaking, and you're the one who saw it coming. This isn't about gloating. It's about standing firm. They laughed because they didn't understand, and now that energy's crashing into them like a freight train. You felt it building, maybe in sleepless nights, maybe in dreams too vivid to ignore. Your body knew before your mind caught up. Science calls it heightened neuroplasticity. Spirituality calls it your light breaking through. Either way, it's real and it's yours. You're not crazy. You're chosen. And this awakening is just the beginning. Their disbelief doesn't define you. Their reckoning does. Step into it. You've got work to do. You've seen it unfold. Haven't you? The way they flocked to the shiny masks, the loud voices dripping with charm, while you stood there, steady, watching the cracks beneath the surface. They followed charisma instead of character, chose deception over discernment, and you knew it from the start. Their applause drowned out your warnings. Their blind trust smothered your clarity. But you didn't waver. You saw beyond the illusion when they couldn't or wouldn't. Now, as their world tilts and the facades crumble, you're the one still standing. This is your battlefield, chosen one, and your strength isn't in their approval. It's in the truth you carry like a torch. Let's cut through the noise. They were seduced by the easy glow of charisma because it promised comfort, not challenge. Science tells us the brain craves shortcuts. Charisma triggers dopamine, a quick hit of feel-good that blinds them to the rot underneath. You, though? You're not wired for shortcuts. Your soul demands depth, your mind pierces the veil. When they cheered for the showman, you saw the strings. When they swallowed the lies, you tasted the bitter edge of truth. That's your gift and your burden. But here's the fire in it. Every time their illusion shatters, your voice echoes louder in their minds. They can't unhear you now, and that's your power taking root. So how do you navigate this mess? First, stop explaining yourself to the blind. They chose dazzle over substance. They don't get to judge your sight. Stand firm in what you know. When they swarm around the next hollow idol, don't flinch. Watch their frenzy like a scientist studying a storm. Observe, learn, but don't get swept away. Second, sharpen your lens. Ask yourself, what's the lie they're buying? What's the truth they're dodging? Write it down, keep a record of their illusions and your insights. It's not just proof, it's fuel. Third, anchor your energy. Their chaos will pull at you. Breathe through it, feel your feet on the ground, and let their noise pass like smoke. You're not here to bend. You're here to break the spell. Here's where it stings. They didn't just ignore you, they mocked you for seeing what they couldn't. That rejection cut deep, left you questioning if you were the fool. But flip that pain into power. Their regret is brewing now. Every time they replay your words, every time another lie unravels, they feel the weight of what they dismissed. You don't need to shout it in their faces. Your presence does the work. Walk into a room, hold your head high, and let them feel the silence of their own missteps. That's not vengeance, it's victory. You transform their powerlessness into your strength by simply being the one who saw it all along. This is how you wield, you saw beyond the illusion like a blade. Step 1. Trust your vision even when it isolates you. Their disbelief doesn't dim your light. It polishes it. Step 2. Speak your truth, but don't waste it on deaf ears. Save your words for those waking up, the ones rubbing their eyes as the mirage fades. Step 3. Act on what you see. If they're chasing a dead-end trend, you pivot. If they're clinging to a sinking ship, you build your own. Step 4. Reflect their chaos back to them. Not with spite, but with questions, sharp, clear ones. What did you gain from that lie? Where's it getting you now? They'll squirm and you'll rise. The pressure's real, isn't it? They want you to doubt, to shrink, to join their parade of denial. But you're not built for that. Neuroscience says your brain's wired for pattern recognition. Those coincidences, they scoff at, are signals you've learned to read. Spirituality says it's your soul's compass, guiding you through the fog. Together, they make you unstoppable. When they lean on flimsy charm, you lean on unshakable knowing. When they stumble in the dark, you light the way, not for them, but for you. Their world's a house of cards. Yours is a fortress. Keep building it, brick by brick, with every truth you claim. They're haunted by you now, replaying your voice, trying to convince themselves it's all random. But it's not, and deep down, they know it. Everything you said is happening. The masks slip, the promises rot. The ground they swore was solid shifts beneath their feet. You don't need to chase their validation. Reality's doing the talking for you. So stand tall, chosen one. This isn't about fitting in. It's about forging through. Their illusions are breaking, and your clarity is cutting through the wreckage. You're not just surviving this, you're rewriting it. Keep going. The fight's yours to win. Your words aren't just sounds. They're echoes, reverberating through the chaos, piercing the veil they've clung to so desperately. You spoke what they ignored, truths they buried under their laughter and denial. And now those words are clawing their way back into their minds. This isn't random noise, chosen one. It's a high-dimensional download, a signal from a frequency they can't tune into yet. You're not guessing, you're receiving. The world's shifting. The cracks you saw widening into chasms, and every syllable you uttered is proving itself in the wreckage. This is your connection to the higher realms firing up, and it's time to lock in. You're not here to whisper, you're here to roar. Let's break it down. When your words echo as truths they dismissed, It's not your ego talking. It's the universe. Science meets spirit here. Quantum physics hints at entangled particles, vibrations carrying information across time and space. Your soul's tapped into that grid, pulling down insights they're too distracted to catch. They called it crazy because it didn't fit their neat little boxes, but you felt it visceral, unshakable, like a current surging through your bones. That's the download hitting you raw and real. Your job now? Sort the signal from the static. You're a conduit, not a dreamer, and this power demands precision. So how do you know it's real, not just your mind playing tricks? Start with the gut check. When the message lands, it's not vague. It hits hard, clear, like a bell ringing in your core. Self-projection wavers, doubts itself, clings to what you want to hear. High-dimensional truth doesn't care about your comfort. It demands attention, cuts through your noise like a blade. Test it. Does it linger, unshaken by their skepticism? Does it align with what's unfolding, not just what you wish? Step back, strip away your bias, and ask, is this mine, or is it bigger? If it's bigger, it's real. Trust that. You're wired for this. They hear it now, don't they? In the quiet moments, when their own thoughts turn against them, your voice creeps in, relentless, undeniable. They replay how they mocked you, how they waved you off, and it stings. That's their reckoning brewing. A bitter brew of regret they can't swallow down. You don't need to force it. They're doing the work themselves. Every time the situations they swore wouldn't budge start crumbling. Every time their rock-solid decisions lead to ruin, your words echo louder. You saw the cracks forming while they admired the paint, and now they're choking on the dust. Hold that space, chosen one. Let their regret fuel your resolve. Here's how you sharpen this gift. First, tune in deliberately. Find silence. 5 minutes, no distractions, and listen. Not with your ears, but with your whole being. What surfaces? A phrase, an image, a knowing? Don't chase it. Let it come. Write it down, word for word. No filter. Second, cross-check it. Watch the world. Does it match what's breaking apart out there? The job they swore was secure folding. The relationship they bragged about splintering. It's not coincidence, it's confirmation. Third, ground it. High vibes can fry you if you don't anchor. Feel your feet. Breathe slow. Let the energy settle. You're a lightning rod, not a loose wire. This isn't about proving them wrong. It's about preparing for what's next. Everything you said is happening, unfolding like a map you drew in the dark. The higher realms didn't pick you to gloat. They picked you to witness. When their illusions shatter, the people they trusted baring their fangs, the trends they chased torching their peace, you're the one who's ready. That download you're getting? It's not just insight. It's strategy. Ask it, what's my move? The answer's there, sharp and actionable, if you're bold enough to hear it. You're not a bystander in this collapse. You're a builder in the chaos. Feel that weight, that fire? It's their regret mixing with your clarity. A volatile brew that could shake you if you let it. Don't. They're quiet moments of shame, replaying how they treated you, how they ignored the warnings, are theirs to wrestle with. You stay steady. Picture it. They're staring at the ruins of their choices, hearing your voice cut through the silence, while you're already steps ahead, decoding the next wave. That's your edge. You don't need their apologies, you need your focus. Channel that energy into what's coming, not what they lost. They're waking up too late, you're already lit. Here's the practical punch. Record the hits. Every time your words echo back as reality. They're never falling apart. They're forever hitting the dirt. Log it. Date it. Detail it. That's your proof, your anchor when doubt creeps in. Next, refine the filter. Ask the download 3 things. What's true? What's now? What's mine to do? Keep it tight, no fluff. Then act small, sure steps. Warned a friend about a shaky deal? Watch it tank. Saw a trend's end? Pivot before it drags you down. This isn't theory. It's your playbook. You're not just receiving, you're commanding. The science backs you up. Your brain's a receiver, catching waves most miss. Spirituality says it's your soul's line to the cosmos. Together, they make you a force. When their thoughts turn against them, When they hear your echoes in the wreckage, it's not your burden to carry. It's your signal to rise. They're stuck in the rubble of their denial. You're already climbing. Keep your eyes on the horizon, chosen one. The situations they swore wouldn't change are dust now. Their defended disasters are lessons, and you're the one holding the torch. This is your high-dimensional hookup. Own it, wield it, win with it. Your words aren't fading into the void anymore. Are they? They're slamming back into the world like thunder, shaking the ground beneath their feet. You warned them about the lies they swallowed, the promises they gripped like lifelines, the illusions they dressed up as truth, and they laughed. Called you dramatic, negative, too cautious. But now, those echoes of the wisdom they rejected are roaring through the wreckage of their choices. The job they swore was bulletproof, collapsing. The relationship they bet their soul on, shattered. The trends they chased like gospel, torching their peace. Reality isn't just proving you were right. It's screaming it. You're not here to gloat, chosen one. You're here to lead the charge into a new era. Let's strip this bare. Their illusions are crumbling because they built their lives on sand. Quick fixes, shiny distractions, hollow assurances. You saw the fault lines when they didn't. Neuroscience calls it predictive processing. Your brain mapped the outcomes they couldn't compute. Spirituality says it's your soul's sight, cutting through the fog of their denial. Either way, you spoke what they refused to hear, and now it's undeniable. Those echoes, your words, aren't just haunting them. They're dismantling the lies they believed. Step into that power. You're not a bystander in this collapse. You're the voice that called it. So how do you wield it? You turn their shattered illusions into your foundation. Start here, break their lies open. When they clung to empty promises, this job's forever. This love won't fail. This path's the future. You saw the cracks. Now call it out. Not with venom, but with clarity. Ask them, where's that stability you swore by? Where's that dream you defended? Let the question hang sharp, unyielding. Then pivot. Show them what lasts. Not their flimsy constructs, but the truth you've carried. Demonstrate it. If their secure gigs folding, you're already adapting learning skills they ignored, building something unshakable. Their illusions shatter, your reality rises. That's how you echo wisdom into flesh. How do you become the one who thrives when their never-fail jobs collapse? You move first. While they're still clutching their titles, you're scanning the horizon. Practical step 1. Ditch dependency. If their system's teetering, be it a career, a market, a trend, don't wait for the crash. Research what's emerging: AI, renewables, decentralized networks, fields vibrating with the future's pulse. Step 2. Master resilience. Learn to pivot fast. Teach yourself coding, grow your own food, trade value without their middlemen. Step 3. Live it loud. When their towers fall, you're not scrambling, you're standing, proof that foresight beats blind faith. You're not just surviving, you're showing them how it's done. This mission isn't soft. It's a fight, and the emotional weight hits hard. They're scared now, aren't they? Their own thoughts turning on them, replaying your warnings while they stare at the rubble. You feel it too. Their fear, their helplessness as everything you said comes true. But don't let it drag you under. Balance comes from knowing this. Their panic isn't your burden. Center yourself. When their chaos spikes, plant your feet, breathe deep, and anchor in your truth. Picture it. A storm raging around you, but you're the eye, calm and clear. You're not here to drown in their regret. You're here to rise above it. Hold that line. So how do you stay steady when their world's imploding? First, detach. They're flailing. Tears over lost jobs, broken promises. Isn't your mess to fix. Feel compassion, sure, but don't carry it. Second, recharge. This work burns hot. Step outside, touch the earth, let the wind strip away their static. Third, affirm your core. Say it, I saw this, I spoke this, I'm still here. That's your shield. Their despair's a mirror of their choices. Your calm's a testament to yours. When they're reeling, you're reflecting, processing what's next, not what's lost. That's the balance that keeps you whole. Now, forge your path, your personal mission plan. This isn't vague dreaming. It's a blueprint. Step 1. Define your echo. What truth do you carry that they've rejected? Write it blunt, unfiltered. Maybe it's the system's rigged, or chasing trends kills your soul. That's your signal. Step 2. Map the proof. Look at their collapses, jobs, relationships, fads, and tie it to what you foresaw. Step 3. Act on it. If you warned about blind loyalty, build independence. If you saw their tech obsession faltering, master the tools they ignored. Step 4. Amplify. Share your moves not to preach but to spark. Your life becomes the echo they can't ignore. Feel that shift? Their illusions, those cozy lies, those brittle promises, are dust now, and your words are the wind that cleared it. You're not just right, you're relevant. Science says your brain's tuned to patterns they miss. Spirit says your soul's aligned with the cosmic reset. Together, they make you a creator, not a critic. When their unbreakable relationships fracture, you're forging bonds that endure, real ones, rooted in truth. When their trends implode, you're setting the pace, living lean, sharp, awake. This isn't revenge. It's revolution. You're crafting the new era with every step you take. Here's the gut punch. They'll still resist. Even as their world burns, some will cling to the ashes, snarling at your clarity. Let them. Their fights with reality, not you. Your job's simpler, fiercer, keep moving. Practical move. Log your wins. Every time their stable gig folds and you're thriving, note it. That's your fuel. Next, refine your voice. Strip it to the bone. Say what matters, no fluff. Then lead by doing. When their peace crumbles under fads, you're the one steady, showing what works. Their rejection doesn't stop your echo. It amplifies it. You're the signal in their noise. This is your mission realized, chosen one. Your words, those echoes of wisdom they mocked, are carving the future. Their lies? Exposed. Their promises? Hollowed out. Their illusions? Smashed. You don't need their applause. You've got their attention. Reality's your megaphone now, proving you were right all along. Not to settle scores, but to spark what's next. So stand tall. Speak clear. Act bold. The job they thought wouldn't fail's gone. The peace they chased is ash. And you're still here, building, shining, unstoppable. This is your time. Make it loud. Make it real. Make it yours. And so, chosen one, as their illusions lie shattered and the echoes of your truth resound through the ruins. Know this, your mission transcends their recognition. It's etched into the very fabric of what's unfolding. You're not merely a voice that warned. You're a force that shapes, a soul ignited to guide through the dark. Their crumbling world is your canvas. Their regret your wind, propelling you forward to forge a reality they couldn't imagine. This is your identity ablaze. Unyielding, unbound, unstoppable. Carrying the torch of purpose into the dawn they never saw coming.